This is an example of woke propaganda from a published academic paper, which would not be publishable under the scientific method of research. It is obtained from a Soviet-era tool used in universities called active measures, aktivní meropriatia, or the Great Brainwashing Device, which compels young people in universities and across social media what to think, instead of how to think. Unlike the scientific method, the method used in this paper does not require a proof, and offers a backdoor for Black Lives Matter and racial liberalism propaganda to be used in a conclusion. Let's compare the steps of the scientific method, which are: observation, question, hypothesis and method, experiment, and conclusion. To the paper we will look at, which is called Racial Liberalism Resurgent, Connecting Multiracial Protests and Electoral Politics Today. It was published in 2021 in the Journal of Race, Ethnicity, and Politics, with 2 citations, according to Google Scholar, at the time of publishing this video. This paper asks whether the participation of white people in both the 2018 midterm elections and the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020 were a result of the resurgence of racial liberalism, a movement motivated by legislating against racial discrimination. The hypothesis and method in this paper would be completely lost in more than 6 pages of assumptions which are not stated as such. For example, stating that racial diversity of Black Lives Matter protesters is probably connected to growing white racial liberalism, with no citation or evidence. Stating that white racism infects society more generally, with no citation or evidence. Stating that protesters might be more representative of the voting public, with no citation or evidence. Stating that the Black Lives Matter protest is about something that implicates us all in taking action to redress it, which is an opinion. Stating that systemic racism pervades the entire institutional infrastructure of the social order, with no academic citation or evidence, and an opinion as a reference. Stating that there is a system of white dominance, with no citation or evidence. Stating that white people say they will actively work to disown the unearned privileges they gain from the system of systemic racism, with no citation or evidence. Stating that Donald Trump rose to power riding a wave of white resentment, with a non-rigorous citation. Stating that Trump exploited white resentment to the Obama presidency, with no citation or evidence. Stating that Trump worked his way into a position of leadership in championing a conspiracy against Obama, with no reference or evidence. Stating that Trump stoked white resentment more broadly reflective of the changing nature of racism, which is an opinion. Stating that Obama represented the culmination of years of effort to achieve racial inclusion, which is an opinion. Stating that Trump is racist as both a candidate and as a president, with no reference or evidence, and which is an opinion. These assumptions, and many more, which have not been stated as such, mean that the hypothesis and method in this paper would not stand up to scientific scrutiny. The paper relies solely on third-party data, with insufficient information about the samples. This makes it easy to go and find data which fits the claims made in the paper. Additionally, the paper uses opinions as citation to support claims in a conclusion, and therefore cannot be used to reach a conclusion that would hold any academic significance in the sciences.